We are live, coming here with a brand new Stir the Pod podcast show. I'm your host, Trevor, and tonight we are joined by Alex. Alex, how you doing tonight?
Yo.
And we are also joined by, wait a minute, that can't be right. Let me clear out my camera. Andy? Andy's back from the dead? Andy, how you doing tonight?
What up?
And we are finally here with the episode 8 recap show. And I think it's safe to say this episode was 10 times better than the last two episodes. I think we can all agree on that, correct? Alex seems very sketchy, so with that, I think tonight's episode, it was a good episode. I definitely think it was, like I said, a lot better than the past 60-minute episodes. And I like the challenge. The elimination was all right. We'll get into that. And yeah, I'll just leave it at that. So, boys, what was your thoughts?
I would say I think tonight's episode was definitely better than the past couple weeks, mainly because past couple weeks we just had nothing happen. Like everything was so spread out. Like the competitions were spread out, and there was drama, but the drama was just a little slap and some frozen pizza. So I think tonight's episode was better than that. I didn't love tonight's episode, but I think it was a classic example of, in my opinion, the first 75% of the episode was below average. I think the end really saved it with like finally shaking things up. I was at a point middle of the episode where my only thought was like, I feel like I've seen this exact same episode 6 times already this season because it was the same old song and dance. I did think the challenge was good. I thought the elimination was good, but there was really nothing outside of that. But again, I think the lasting image there, the last 5 minutes, bumped it up from a C+ episode to a B episode in my mind.
Really? Okay. Andy, well, first off, welcome back. Where were you last week?
You know, sometimes you just gotta go back to actually move forward.
Okay. So where were you?
That's the old Natalie and Paulie method.
Well, I know. Well, we know Andy's a big fan of them as well. But actually, before I want to hear your opinion, I want to hear your opinion of your boy Fezzi going home last week.
Oh, of course, that's what I was going to start with. I mean, I don't like to say I told you so. I get no enjoyment of that. But I fucking told you so. I told everyone. I was so out on Fezzi right away. This challenge is not just one big hall brawl. There's other aspects to it. And that's what this big, dumb idiot can't get through his skull. It all makes sense why he was going, oh, whoa. What do you mean Kyle's better than me? Josh is better than me? Yeah. Guess what? They're still on. You're not. The only veteran that you beat was Nam, who was on the show for about 5 seconds. And Nam, what are your thoughts?
Oh, thanks, Nam.
I mean, I could not have drawn up a more perfect ending to that stupid motherfucker's season. I can't stand him. He went on a tangent about why he deserved to be better than dead last in my power rankings. And what does he do? He goes out and proves that he is dead last in my power rankings. He's such an idiot. He's a pea brain. And I'm so happy that he got kicked out for fighting, quote unquote, his brother. What an absolute idiot, moron. See ya. Dead last forever. Welcome to the challenge.
Okay. So tonight's episode.
I liked it. I liked it a lot. This felt like just a very classic challenge episode. And Alex kind of talked about it in a sense of like how this season is gone. And he's not wrong. Like the rookies go in, the rookies cause their own drama. Okay, yeah, sure, fine. Move along. But at the same time, this felt like a challenge episode from like the 2013s, 2014s of the world, where it's like everyone gets back, a little bit of drama, challenge, a little bit more drama, elimination, twist, looking forward to next week. That's how I felt after this episode. So I love it. I thought it was a really good episode, and I think it's setting us up nicely for the next couple.
Yeah, I agree. I think, Alex can complain all he wants, but I think it was a good setup because now there's no rookie teams. Now we're going to see who's really in and who can take out the big dogs. So with that being said, let's dive right into the recap. I think the first thing we have to address is the streak is back. The streak is back. It's good to see Emmy and CT walking in the house first. I think Berna was second, if you remember that clip, and it was kind of like an awkward step through, but it's good to see the streak being back. Alex, anything you want to touch on your streak?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I think we all kind of thought the streak was just going to continue the whole season, and then the producer said, wait a minute, we got to throw in a couple 60-minuters. So I think the only thing is now we have to be episode 9 on the lookout for Jeremiah and Priscilla. Those got to be the first two walking in next week.
Correct.
Glad to have it back.
Great to have it back. And then kind of after that, I mean, I didn't really think there was that much leading into the first challenge. You had some rookie talks. You heard, the whole Berna being upset with Emmy. And we kind of just got right into it. Anything we want to touch before the opening challenge? No?
I don't think so.
So let's dive right into the actual challenge itself. And when I first saw what they were doing, I wasn't really a big fan of it. But ... Then I was all aboard. Once I saw the little jet skis, the yacht, and stuff like that, I was all for it. I actually liked this challenge. So the name of the game was basically they're on these jet skis. You have to get 2 puzzle pieces in a row, and then you go back, and then you get the key that's on the yacht, and then you basically bring the key, open up the board of the puzzle pieces, and you basically solve a puzzle. Pretty straightforward challenge, I would say. I do want to bring up, how much money do you think this challenge cost? It's got to be one of the most expensive challenges of all time.
Of all time?
Think about it. Who's paying for that yacht? The yacht itself is more expensive than that.
TJ's yacht. It's TJ's yacht.
Oh, yeah.
Think about and granted, I don't even know what you would say, but whoever were to build those contraptions that are over the water, there's no way those are cheap.
But I don't. Everything else. Here's how I look at it. 99.5% of that challenge was not that expensive at all. But the 0.5 of just the yacht holding the keys. I mean, who's paying for this shit? I was kidding about that. It was so unnecessary. They could have just put them on buoys or something, and they were just like, nah, we got to get a fucking yacht. It just made no sense.
What would you say some of the cheapest challenges to produce would be? Has to be some sort of just foot race, right?
I was going to say the eating ones. They just pick them up from the country and throw them in a box and let animals.
Or the classic
No. By far the cheapest one is the beginning of Vendettas, when they basically just put one partner in a coffin and the other person just had to dig it up. They just literally dug a hole with shovels. I mean, come on.
God, well, don't sleep on the classic. Here's a pit of mud. There's 5 inflatable balls in there. Go run, grab it, and come back. I think those things are $2 at Walmart.
It's like something you would see in Walmart where you would jump in as a kid.
I wish we could get a graph of overall Buna Murray budget season to season, episode to episode, and see how that overlays with what the challenge is. They got no money to spend, and they're just saying all right, go run 10 miles.
I guess the cheapest challenge season's got to be the fucking island.
Yeah.
I mean, they were building a boat. Jones. or Invasion of the Champs. CT. Cookies. God. So, all right.
I like this challenge, like what it was. I think the first thought I had was just this seemed like a very fun thing to do, like writing those little things, like trying to get the puzzle pieces. So it really was. I was kind of surprised that like I thought they were gonna have to go back and forth more times, but it said like then I caught it like on screen. It said like 2 of 2 puzzle pieces. So it really was like one partner goes one time, gets it. The other partner goes and gets the second one, and they didn't have to go back and forth, right? Like it was just that, and then one person had to go all the way to the yacht to like climb something to get the key, right?
Yeah. So, God, Mikey the Doctor wrote about those drones. How much money do you think they cost on the drones one? They broke how many drones? That's
That's up there.
God. All right, should we dive right into the heats?
Yeah, let's go heat by heat.
All right, so first heat, you got Kyle and Amanda. You got Big Jeremiah. You got Tori and Ed from the circle. And then Devin and Amber. What do we think about that heat?
The main thing that jumped out to me from this heat was just how bad Jeremiah was. I mean, he kind of redeemed himself later in the episode, but the fact that he was like on like a device that was meant to go underwater, and he was still afraid to go underwater, and it took him forever. And then he made Big T go out and like to the boat and get and climb up the thing. And it's like it's not necessarily that he's forcing his female partner to go do something like that. It's the fact that it's Big T. Like if you're paired with like Ashley or Emily or Cara, it's like it doesn't really matter. But like Big T is not known as a physical competitor. So to send her out there, especially when you're like as tall as Jeremiah is, and I think she ended up switching back. Like Jeremiah ended up going out there anyway.
Yeah,
so that was kind of what stuck out to me, was just like how pathetic Jeremiah's performance was there.
Yeah, rough performance from him. And like you said, he kind of made up for it later on in the episode. But Devin and Amber win this heat. And I do want to take note, at this time when Devin and Amber win, that was our first puzzle queen of the episode. I just want to mark that down. Second heat, we got Purcell and Scuba Nelly. Classic. We got Huey and Berna. We got Ashley and Josh. And is that it? We only had 3 people? Interesting.
Yeah,
all right, so we had those 3 people. Scuba Nelly's just awesome. I mean, he's in a league of his own, I think. But looking at these teams, they hyped up Berna and Huey so much for them not to even win, not to even get a check off. I mean, I don't know. I was just not a fan of this heat. What do you guys think?
Well, I'd love to have actually seen how the heat went down.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're right. They hyped up Berna and Huey big time. And I couldn't tell, like, after maybe the first puzzle piece, like, Tori watching said, like, oh, they're in first. That's not good. But I couldn't tell how much of it was just, like, production trying to act like they're going to win.
Yeah.
Or it could very easily be the fact that Hua and Bernie are absolute – or what? Bernie and Hua? Berna, Huey. They could just be idiots and not know how to complete a puzzle. Which, like, knowing 85% of the contestants on the challenge, I think that's probably it. And all it took was Josh and who's you with? Ashley?
Puzzle queen number 2.
Puzzle queen number 2 to come in and take it away. Granted, she's a puzzle queen. But, yes, I think it was just those idiots can't put together a puzzle and blew it. Yeah.
So Ashley and Josh win the heat. And then we go to the third heat, and we had Nani and Logan, which who the fuck is Logan? Like, come on.
What do
then
you
we got Casey and Emmanuel. We got Corey and Bettina, Bedbetta, whatever the fuck. And then we got Uncle Emmy coming in and obviously winning the heat, which I forget who it was. It might have been who said that CT was a puzzle king. Somebody definitely said that.
You're right.
Emmanuel did.
Yes, that's who it
He
was.
doesn't even know CT.
You mean Manuel?
Lin-Manuel?
Did anybody else catch on the third heat? Corey, it was like right as the heat was starting, so you weren't sure exactly who was in it. Corey was like, "Oh yeah, like this third heat is stacked. This is going to be the real winner." And then they started laying out all the teams, and I was like, "Wait a second, it's not stacked by any means. It's tough for the only reason being CT. CT is in the heat. That's what makes it tough. Like Corey is a good competitor. Who else did you say? Like Casey and Manuel, like they're fine. They're okay. But like for Corey to say that it's stacked, I really don't think you could make any combination of teams with using this cast and call it stacked because the cast just isn't that great.
The funny thing is, looking at the heats, the teams that should have won the heat, I feel like. So I thought like overall, like separating the teams, they actually did a pretty like, there was like one, I mean, there's no like amazing team except, I mean, CT is probably the best, but yeah, I thought they did a good job separating them.
Well, I don't understand. If this were to be like a super physical challenge, okay, maybe I could see Corey saying this heat was stacked. But the bulk of this was a puzzle. And the two of the best competitors are in that heat are Corey and Casey, neither of which I would trust to complete a puzzle. So, like, the fact that he says that just means that he was so, like, disconnected from what the challenge itself actually was that he probably thought, oh, whoever wins it, I don't want to say whoever wins this is winning it all because CT did. But at the same time, I mean, for him to think that he's got a shot or Casey has a shot, I mean, give me a break.
So, like we said, Uncle Emmy wins that heat, and we have our three teams, Devin and Amber, Amber, Josh, and Uncle Emmy. And to no surprise, Uncle Emmy pull out the dub, and they are the champs of episode 8 challenge. So then we go back to the house, and yeah, we kind of go back to the boring old club. I mean, I don't know. There's not much to say. I know Alex loves that club, so he can. Oh yes, Mikey the Doctor. Sorry, and I completely forgot to say that. Obviously, it was decided by 1 second. I mean, wouldn't have been another way. Like, I mean, come on, 1 second. But we go back to the house, and then we have the club scene. Alex, Andy, you guys want to touch anything on this?
I just feel like in this portion of the episode, from the point that the challenge is over to kind of middle of nomination, start of elimination, I feel like usually we come on here on our recaps and we say, oh, like nothing happened, but we're not really being literal. And then we touch on a couple things, a couple like, you know, hookup scenes or like people scheming in the corner. But like tonight, I don't know if I missed something, but I really do feel like nothing happened.
No, it was just in the beginning of the episode. It was just that fallout.
Yeah, it was just more like rookies talking. Oh, the rookies are going in. Huey's going in. And they went to the club, and that was it. Amber kind of teased wanting to go in, but not really. You didn't really have like any non-challenge talking points that came out of this, I don't think.
I don't know, Jim. I mean, I thought the Amber piece actually was something to unpack because it ended up being a domino effect. Like, granted, like she goes up to Casey and Josh and talks about how like, oh, I want to go in. And they're like, no, you don't. And obviously they were right. But it's at least started those conversations, which you should never do unless you're all in for it. And then later on the deliberation, I think Priscilla brought it back up and said, like, there were talks of you wanting to throw yourself in. So not only did that, and it didn't come back to bite her in the ass, but I do think what happened, and Amber's face kind of showed this when Priscilla brought that up. I mean, she talked to two people, and that was Casey and Josh. And the fact that Priscilla is hearing about it shows that whatever alliance Kate or Amber, I almost said Amber B, was trying to rekindle with those two, it's not there. You know what I mean? The fact that Josh or Casey is talking to enough people for that word to get to Priscilla means that, like, Amber has no one in the game.
Oh,
And
yeah,
I
absolutely.
realize that.
Mm-hmm.
But that's it. Nothing else happened.
Yeah.
And that's me making a reach, too.
Why I kind of said nothing really happened was because I think we all kind of knew she wasn't going to go down herself. But like you bring up a good point, Andy. It's now that it's planted the idea in people's head. And Purcell did a really nice job of calling her out for that. Am I saying her name wrong? I don't even know how to say her name, honestly.
I thought it was Priscilla.
Priscilla. I don't know. But yeah, then we have what else do we have?
We just had they went straight to nominations, which I think again was pretty predictable.
Oh yeah, the classic nominations where everybody pleads their case, and yeah, I mean, like we said, I mean they're just going to keep throwing rookie teams down, and to no surprise, Berna and Huey go down. No surprise there. And then we just go to the elimination right after. Right?
Yeah. And then I don't think it's a surprise either that that CT and Emmy pick Jeremiah and pick
who volunteered to go in during nominations.
Yeah.
And then I mean I feel like this is the part of the episode where we just knew what was going to happen, and it wasn't really a surprise. You know, like
the past 30 minutes of the episode and the past 10 minutes of our recap here is why I just was not too high on the episode as a whole. I just felt like there really wasn't much to talk about. Nothing popped off the screen. It was very predictable. Like I said, what we're going to get to in a sec kind of saved it a little bit. The challenge was nice, but just not a whole lot for us to really work with right here.
Yeah, you know, the thing I want to talk about the most about this episode, though, is the fallout of actually, let's just talk about eliminations first. Let's get through that, because I really want to know, where do you think this game's going to go? And I want to know from the chat too, because now this is where, you know, anybody can get thrown in. There's no rookie teams. And now this is like, you know, preseason's over, and now week 1 of the NFL season is here. Now we got the vets. The rookies are all gone. We're ready to go now. And I want to know, where are we leaning? Obviously, we think, you know, CT should cakewalk his way towards at least a final, if not winning it. I mean, to get to a final right now is what, Andy, minus 5,000?
Oh, yeah. You kidding me?
So I think, you know, I really just want to know where you guys are thinking this game's going to go. But before we get there, let's talk quickly about this elimination. Like we said, Jeremiah volunteered. Priscilla gets voted in as the girl. And then the elimination is basically you're strapped to your partner, and you basically climb a pole, and you basically just cut it down with what was that? Like a metal, just like a metal. Oh, God. Yeah, an ox, and we just basically had to cut it. So kind of during this, I thought Berna was going to dominate this because, like she said, she does a lot of climbing and stuff, but obviously this is a 2-person game, and Huey literally could not move. I mean, his ass was getting stuck on the pole, and he could not even climb, which I was surprised by. It was pretty close towards the end. What did you guys overall think about this elimination?
I actually enjoyed it for what it was. Like, I think it was a good, like, you have to have good chemistry with your partner. I always appreciate those. And just like climbing up a thing, doing another thing, and then you're done. I thought it was good. They had so like on the poles that they were climbing, they kind of have like pegs that they had to like each step on the whole time.
Yeah.
Right. I think kind of what
Had to use something. Could you imagine if there was nothing and they were just strapped up? They're just like crawling up like that.
I think like you kind of said, what it all boiled down to was the physical figures of each of the two males. And what I mean by that is like Jeremiah is like a tall, skinny dude, was like good upper body strength, like able to figure it out and just like reach to the top with his rope. Whereas you got Huey, his big old fake ass, like couldn't even touch the thing to like move up. He was literally stuck. They were all kind of laughing at him, like he can't move his ass up. And I think that's what it came down to. Because like you said, I was also kind of thinking Berna should win in this thing. Maybe not necessarily dominate because you're with another person, but should definitely win. Seeing some, I'm not even going to read the chat about the spoilers. But I think Berna and Priscilla is pretty even. I think it's just a matter of Huey's ass getting in the way. But overall, I liked it.
Andy, anything?
I mean, not much else to say aside from that. So it was cool. It was unique. It seemed like a very classic elimination too. So I thought it was good.
So down goes Berna, down goes Huey. Yeah, and the one thing I do want to talk about both of those competitors. Would you want to see any of those people back or not? Because personally, I didn't mind Berna. The only thing, well, let me say this. I liked her as a competitor. I thought she brings a lot to the table. The only thing I don't like about her was how she was like so anti-Amber for whatever reason when she had no room to talk. You can't just come into this game as a rookie and say like, oh, she's, and just kind of Amber P's so annoying and all this blah, 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 blah. At least she's won. That's the thing. So I like her. I think she's a really strong girl too. I just, if she could just forget about, what would be happen too next season. Amber and Berna would be best friends. It'd be very Jordan Bananas-esque if they were on next season. Is how I would see it. Huey, I don't really care to see him again personally. You have something to say?
I think you've said plenty.
God.
No, I did want to bring up the same exact talking point just in terms of Huey and Berna because I think they are two rookies this season that like made an impact to some extent, even though they lost an elimination now and didn't make it super far, even though we're fucking 8 episodes in. I'm kind of like, I don't know if I want to see either of them back, but I think you have to compliment both of them, especially Huey, for just being able to make an impact on the show. Like in 2-3 seasons from now, we might not ever have Huey on again, but if you say like, oh, do you remember Huey? It might take me a second, but I'll be like, oh, that was that, the Irish dude with the fat butt who was like freaking out and crying in every elimination. Like I will remember Huey, which is like something that can't be said for a lot of rookies who go on the challenge these days.
Very great point, Alex. Andy, anything you want to touch on those guys?
No.
A man of few words tonight. I mean, you talk 5 minutes about Fezzi leaving because you weren't on, and then you're like, no, not much to say about the challenge, not much to say about the interrogation, not much to say about the elimination.
Easy. Everything that has been said is just factual. I'm all for it. I will say this though. If I saw either Berna or Huey on next season, would I be mad? No. Would I be excited? Also no. But would I say, oh, yes. So I think there's something to be said about that because they didn't piss me off. A lot of rookies, especially over the past like 3-4 seasons, have been like, I don't want to see you again. Not these two. So, and Burn is kind of bad. So, I'm in for it.
Yeah, she sounds bad. Chat. What realistically, what vet do you guys want to see back? I see a couple Team Young Bucks in the chat. I think Hunter would be cool to see. What's it called? I think Hunter would be cool to get back. But who would you guys want to see back? Alex, Andy, anybody? Realistic. No Kennys in the world. I know Andy would want Lolo and Nam. Who we thinking? Who do we need to get back?
I mean, I feel like you're just setting me up to ask the question, can we get Tony back?
I don't think that's realistic anymore.
You don't?
I think he's done. I think somebody who needs to be back that is willing to come back is Theo. I think Theo is a perfect person.
I like Theo.
I think Jesse Adams wrote a really good list of 3. Tony, Rogan, and Hunter. I think those all 3 are realistic. And even Joss, if you throw him involved. There it is. No? Not a fan? Who put it in?
When you bring Josh, you got to bring a couple quarters. But I didn't like Josh that much. People forget Josh didn't bring like anything outside of the challenge to the table. Like Bananas' whole who put a nickel in Josh was very real. Like outside of the challenges, eliminations, Josh was rarely shown or added any sort of drama to the game.
Yeah. Alex, anybody?
I'm trying to think of what female competitors we want back.
I want Cam back.
This is kind of an older one, but one that I'm still mad we only saw once. Cook.
I love Cook, dude.
She's got to still be like young. You know what I mean? Like she's got to still be in shape. Like she's not like Anissa coming on here at like 55 years old.
Anissa's.
We might have to do an off-season Mount Rushmore of like one season wonders. And it's like challengers that are only limited to they've been on exactly one season. Because I think Cook is going to be a first-round pick there.
Whoa.
Dave Mira.
We'll get into that.
I
like that question, though. I don't know who else I would like. Someone who is realistic in the past like 5 seasons or so who I would genuinely want to see back. I don't know. Wes? Bananas?
I think they're done. And we'll get into a couple of those vets in our upcoming segments, but we'll get into that. But anybody else we want to talk about? Oh, Jenny, Love IU, great pick there. I would like to see Jenny back and talk about a one-hit wonder too, winning.
What about Turbo?
Ooh,
dude is a fucking maniac.
He was.
Why are you copying my walk? Why are you copying my walk?
I would also be remiss if I didn't throw Gabby's name out there. I mean, that seems like a no-brainer. But if I saw Gabby on next season's cast list, I need to go stock up on shorts.
All right. Well, that was the episode recap. Let's dive right into. Actually, wait. Well, we basically talked about the elimination, who won and stuff. But let's talk about the new partners. What are the new partners, Alex? We got Jeremiah taking Tori, correct?
Yep. Priscilla took Josh.
Great pick. Maybe the move of the night. And then Big Nelly forms.
Yeah, Big Nelly and Ashley and Ed from the Circle. So we got 4 new teams overall.
Yes.
And I mean, we just got to talk about this for a few minutes. Like, what do you guys think? Like, this is where the season, I feel like, finally turned a little bit.
Preseason's over.
Yeah, the preseason's over. Like I said earlier,
Hopefully, you don't start 0-3.
And I like one of the reasons that I liked the last part of the episode so much more than the first 75% of it was because it was the exact opposite in terms of season long outlook. Like at the beginning, I was just thinking like they almost painted it in a weird way. They were foreshadowing, but at the same time painting it as like the rookies are trapped. Like there's nothing they can do to get out of this. And then finally, when we leave tonight's episode as every team now, like correct me if I'm wrong, but every single team, well, I guess, Kyle and Amanda are still together.
Correct.
But every single team
has at
least one vet, right?
Yes.
So, okay. So, yeah. So that changed everything because that statement has never been true up to now. So that was just why I kind of left at least the episode with like a positive taste in my mouth. No homo.
Oh, you guys in the chat crack me up. Jesus Christ, I just read that one too. So yeah, anything else we want to talk about on this episode? Andy, anything, or is everything taken from what Alex said?
No, actually, there is one thing, and I was maybe gonna save it for the segments, but I don't want to. So one thing that was incredibly clear about this episode, and I don't know if you guys picked up on it, but I picked up on it right away. Like we talked about how many different cliches there are on the show, like the you do not want to get home now, and this is the most money we've ever given out, and even the like fake twist, like all that. Another one that happened this episode that I thought was so hilarious is the amount of times that these idiots have these confessionals and their like advice or their like plan is so common sense. It is absurd. So I jotted down 4 different lines, literally just from this episode, 4 of them that like you listen to and you're like, no shit. So we'll start. So I don't remember who said each one. I do remember the first one was Jeremiah, who said, I came here to win. I didn't come here to lose. No shit. Did anyone raise your hand here if you came here to lose? Like, come on. All right. Another one. I think this was Huey, and there was obviously some context behind it because they had a target on their back. But going into the daily challenge, the quote was, we need to win this challenge. I mean, everyone needs to win the challenge. I mean, it's ingrained. Like, I get it. He had tar on his back, whatever. But, like, come on. All right, and two more. One was after the challenge during the, like, at the house, just kind of shenanigans. I know it was a female. I don't remember who says, I don't want to go into the lair. Duh. Who says they want to go in the lair? Like, these people just say these things that are like, I mean,
water is wet.
And then last one. This was another Huey line. He said, winning $1 million would change my life. How many people?
$1 million isn't cool.
God, watch it. Like, how many people can say, yeah, if I got $1 million right now, that wouldn't change my life? Like, come on.
No, I mean,
I just when I heard like the second one, it was just like, God, these people are so stupid. Like, it felt like the classic Casey repeating the rules when you're just like, yeah, I know.
God. That was like Corey tonight. Corey was the one who repeated the rules tonight. And I have to laugh when Corey, Fezzi, and Josh all wearing the exact same confessional. The black leather jacket with the white shirt. It's just like, that's cute. You guys planned that out or something?
Those all reminded me too. I think one of the all-timers in terms of that type of like stupid challenge quote was, I think I have it on my phone somewhere. I won't pull it up, but I think it was in the trilogy era, and it was actually Nelly T, and it was like a confessional they cut to him like in the middle of a challenge. He was like working on like basically just like middle of a challenge, like doing this task to do the next thing, and they cut to him in a confessional, and he says, "If we don't do this, we're not gonna get this done."
God.
So he said it in his voice too, so you can like imagine how serious he thought that was, and like how insightful. If we don't do this, we're not gonna get this done.
So classic. All right, we ready for some segments tonight?
Let's do it.
All right, our first segment tonight is we've done this one for a while now. It's good to have this one back. This day in challenge history. Alex, take it away. What do we got in this day in challenge history?
Yeah, so this day in challenge history, like you said, we've done it many times before. Really what it comes down to is if we can use it, like if something on this calendar day happened before on the challenge, we'll bring it up. If not, then we have no choice but to just kind of skip that segment. And so today, September 29th, is actually the first time this season where we have a this day in challenge history. So it is going to be, I think it's going to be very short. It's just a trivia question straight up. The question is going to be, on this day in challenge history, was obviously it's the first time we're doing it now. It was the premiere episode of a season, episode 1. The calendar year was 2003. And so the question just straight up is, 18 years ago, this day in challenge history, what challenge season started? 2003.
Fresh Meat 1.
No. 2003, no chance. 2003? Fresh Meat was like 2007, I'm pretty sure.
1?
Yeah.
1 was old school.
In chat, feel free to chime in too, of course. I think I don't know if we've seen our old friend Boogie Brown recently, but
we got some Infernos. That's what I was thinking. I was thinking Gauntlet or Inferno.
Let's give the chat another minute or so. Yeah, and then obviously week by week, as the calendar changes, we'll see if there's other questions from this season that I'm about to reveal or other seasons that overlap. I'll just go ahead and let you guys know the answer to this.
Andy, what's your last guess?
Yeah, last guess from each of you.
The Duel.
I'm going Gauntlet.
Okay.
It's got to be something with at least 3 of them. It's the first one. And obviously Fresh Meat doesn't have 3 of them, right, Andy?
Yet.
I wish you would have been part of the segment last week so you could have heard our fantasy Fresh Meat 3 picks.
Explain.
Oh, you haven't listened? Oh, God. You're in for a treat then.
All right. So everybody's got their answers in. We see.
I'm serious. We're not fucking around. We did because me and Alex are huge Fresh Meat fans, and nobody's ever come up with the idea of Fresh Meat 3. So we wanted to do a fantasy of.
We made the cast.
We made the cast of Fresh Meat 3. Yeah, it was our new segment.
Watch it.
So you better listen. You better listen to the podcast.
All right, so everybody's got their guesses in. The correct answer, the correct answer on this day in challenge history.
But seriously, we should.
In 2003 was the premiere episode of The Gauntlet Season 1. The Gauntlet 1. So I think Trevor takes the cake there.
What else is new? Me showing up for the STP, Andy not showing up and getting it wrong,
Whoa. I don't know if I've ever gotten to this day in challenge history correct, so I'm par for the course.
God, watch it. All right, next segment we got tonight is a new segment, and we just figured we wanted to come up with a segment where we kind of just break down the news on Challenge. So obviously there's a lot of people that aren't on this season, but constantly, obviously, shit happens. So this segment's going to be called Pot Stirring. And obviously, let's just dive right in. And I think the biggest topic we have for Pot Stirring tonight, and this could go off the rails, I have no idea, is the news of the recent breakup between Bananas and Morgan. Down goes Bananas and Morgan. Alex, Andy, what do we think?
I mean, it's devastating. Not really though. I mean, do you really think Bananas and Morgan was going to last? They actually did seem to have good chemistry, but yeah, like you said, I think we have to just bring it up when things like this happen in the Challenge universe. Usually they kind of like seep into our recaps anyway, and then it just kind of goes off the rail. So I think we're gonna try to use this as a way to like devote some time to like talking about these things. And yeah, I think the biggest news in the Challenge world last couple of weeks is Bananas and Morgan. I don't know if anybody in the chat can chime in here, but I've heard rumors that it might have been because of Bananas cheating on her catching him doing something. I don't know.
With a friend. Friend of
Morgan's friend. The age gap was always weird. It was just kind of always classic, like thinking back to the start of them where they come on War of the Worlds, they're teammates, and Bananas like always jokingly refers to as like, oh, my hot little cheerleader or whatever. And at the time, do you guys remember she was dating Jay? She was dating Jay from the Challenge.
From the Circle? Oh, wait, that's Ed.
She was dating Jay from Survivor, and then Bananas and her kind of pair up, and they get eliminated early. And then I think they just like stayed in Europe together for like the next month or so, which I think a lot of challengers do. Like they stay abroad and just like travel, but like they did it together all the while Jay's, you know, back in Texas thinking like, oh, I haven't heard from Morgan. She must be making it pretty far. And so
episode 3 gone.
Yeah, to go from there to now September 2021, hearing of their breakup.
Mikey the Doctor brings up a good point. Was he on African Bumble?
He might have used Zach's login.
He still had premium swipes left. Andy, anything you want to touch about this?
No, I mean, I think it was inevitable, but it was just like you think they've got a chance because it seemed like they did have good chemistry, but I mean, with these clowns that go on the show, it rarely works out. I think one of the things that probably had to happen even before any sort of cheating allegations or anything like that. I mean, it seemed like Bananas and Morgan both seem to have like a personality or like try to develop a brand of them, like each one of themselves outside of the show. And I feel like that's kind of walking a tight line, especially with these people who go on the challenge just to become famous and then use that as a way to make money outside the show. Like, I get that. I ain't mad at that. Oh, Mr. Beautiful said that's why everyone goes on the show. But when you have a relationship where both people are like that, I don't like it. I think there's a lot of things that can go south. And then you look at someone or a couple like Zach and Jenna, who arguably against all odds are still together, knock on wood. And then like Jenna, I feel like has her own thing and she's promoting brands and stuff, but Zach, I feel like doesn't. Zach just kind of does his own thing. So I think Zach kind of taking the backseat to that is probably the reason why they're still together. But it was, when I saw that, it was kind of like, damn, but I'm not surprised.
Yeah, I feel like that's how most people are. I mean, it's Bananas. You never know what you're getting with him.
So do we think this could prompt a Brad-esque return to the challenge?
I think it actually might, and I kind of hope so, because where my mind was kind of going was Bananas for a while was with that snowboarder
Teeter.
girl. Yeah, Hannah Teeter. And then I think he broke up with – they
Wasn't
broke
Bananas
up.
also with a Casey girl?
Yeah, that was way back. I think they broke up before Vendettas. So like when Bananas came on Vendettas, he was like very, very newly single. I think him and Teeter were together for like 6 or 7 years. And so he came on Vendettas and he didn't really do much just because like Bananas isn't, going crazy anymore. But it was kind of nice to just see like Bananas like in a new light, like coming on single. And then that lasted a few seasons until he met Morgan. And then when he won his like last ring and everything, like he was dating Morgan at the time. And she did the photo shoot with him with like the $77 t-shirt. And so I think it would be kind of interesting to see like a new 39-year-old, however old he is, Bananas coming onto the show single again and seeing like what rookie girls would again fall into his trap.
His trap. I love how you say it like that. God, he's nuts. So we'll just leave it at that. I do want to bring up one last thing. I just want Andy to respond to Finn Duffy's little comment right there.
I mean, one of the stupidest things I've ever seen. If anyone thinks that Kenny is one of the most overrated players in challenge history, you don't know the challenge. Because every time Kenny was on the challenge, he was one of the favorites to win it all. He called all the shots politically on every season he was on, aside from Fresh Meat 2. When what does he do? He just manhandles and powers through every other team and takes down an entire alliance that was gunning for him. So to say that Kenny was the most overrated player, go back and watch his seasons. The dude is just a winner. That's all he does. So, I mean, that's all I got to say. That was just Finn Duffy. Watch the challenge.
God. Well,
and just one last thing before we get into MVP, LVP is just that in the chat, let us know if you guys like this segment, pot stirring. I think we're going to bring it back probably a lot just to kind of cover like the random challenge shit, breakups, marriages, engagements getting called off, babies, like the Fire Fest that Paulie's planning, like all of this like shit that's not necessarily related to the season. We always love talking about it, and we talk about it in our recaps all the time. So every time we introduce it as a segment, we're just going to talk about everything that's happened since the last time we brought the segment back.
Absolutely. So time for some MVP, LVP time. You guys know the rules. Send us the order that you guys want. And as soon as we see the first person in the chat, we'll go from there. And, yeah. Mike, Dr. writes, did Corey have any more kids? The funny thing is, has Corey even brought up he has kids this season once? I mean, we missed that over under. I know we still have the possibility of like 20 more episodes, but I'm just throwing it out there. There is a chance. So.
I ain't mad at that.
All right. On my chat, I have Jesse Adams 1.
Yep.
Is that for you? I got Jesse Adams 1, Finn Duffy 2, Love by You 3. So I guess we'll do Jesse Adams. And my MVP tonight, this is a tough episode to pick MVPs. But my MVP, if I can pronounce her name correctly, is Priscilla. And I think as a rookie, she did her job. She won the elimination. She stirred a little pot up, and she got Josh. And I think getting Josh as a partner, not even just so she has a vet, and now everybody has vets, it was a very strong move. And calling Ashley out on her, she's not showing she's intimidated by Ashley, which shows a lot as a rookie. You don't really see that many rookies, going back at a 2-time champ. So my MVP tonight is Priscilla.
Good pick. Good pick.
Thank you.
So my MVP tonight is actually going to be Priscilla's former teammate, peer, CT.
God.
I mean, this was just a class. It's hard not to pick CT when he comes in and he wins easily. I know we were joking earlier about this being decided by a second. TJ did not say that. So that leads me to believe that it was probably like 5 minutes. So what does one of the greatest of all time do? He comes in, he wins with Emmy, the alien, as his partner, mind you, and he doesn't ruffle any feathers with his power. And he made reference to that in one of his confessionals. And I mean, I don't know how many times this guy can actually punch his ticket to the finale, but he just did it again. I mean, the dude just wins. So my MVP tonight's going to be CT.
Good pick. Not surprising from you. Alex,
What's that supposed to mean?
I feel like you're always a CT kind of guy. Like,
how can you not be?
I'm just saying, like, when you send the videos and stuff of when you don't even watch the episodes, CT is just your MVP. I just feel like for you, it's a bailout pick.
A bailout pick?
Like, really? Yeah, I do. I'll say it there.
Until CT proves that he doesn't deserve to be the MVP, he's always going to be my MVP. The dude looks like he's like 27. I mean, is this 2021 or 2012? I mean, he's just, again, until he proves me otherwise, he is always at the top of my list. And until Fezzy proves me wrong, he's always going to be bottom of my list.
Alex, who you got MVP?
So far we have Priscilla and CT for MVP, both good picks. My two honorable mentions, since I'm last, real quick, would be Jeremiah, just because I think he kind of shit the bed in the challenge, but he did win an elimination. He's just, every time he's on TV and is like, he always makes me laugh a little bit. And then my other mention, I guess it would actually be 3 honorable mentions for MVP, would be Bettina's knockers. I mean, those things were on full force tonight in every way. But I don't want to make those my MVP pick on the list. So my MVP for tonight is going to be way more obscure than all 3 of those things. It is going to be a challenger. I'm going to go Kyle. And the reason I'm going Kyle is because Kyle is now on the only vet team on the entire cast right now. It's Kyle and Amanda. And they've kind of like snuck their way through for 8 episodes, like never having any target. Obviously, you know, they've been going for the rookies anyway. But Kyle has just kind of slid through. They kind of had that little blowout with Devin a few episodes ago, but they moved on from that right away. And he is now, I just think, in a very good position because now the game has turned. You have no idea who's going to be targeted now. You would think it's probably going to be like just vet-wise, like Big T, Amber, you know, maybe Josh is like always crying and like always causing fights. So I just think Kyle is in one of the best spots you could ask for.
Good pick. Interesting strategy behind the pick. But no, I get it. I think it's more of a radar watch pick, but
yeah.
But still,
I think sometimes the reason you're on radar watch can also be
like an honorable mention. No, I get that. Absolutely agree. Alex, now LVP time. Who you got for us? Honestly, real fast. One more honorable mention MVP might be TJ's yacht. I saw that in the chat, and I do want to give that some props. Who's paying for this shit? All right, LVP. Who you got?
I thought that might have been the same yacht that they used on
Rivals 2.
Rivals 2. It was like the midday. They slept on there, like, oh, you got to get to my yacht first and all that. My LVP for tonight, I think there's a fairly obvious challenger to say. I'm not going to say a challenger. I'm not even going to say a human tonight for my LVP. I'm going to say I'm just trying to think of the right way to phrase this. I'm going to say my LVP is overrating challengers' puzzle skills.
God.
That is just like a classic thing that we see season in, season out, and it was on full force tonight. We were keeping track earlier of all the different puzzle kings, puzzle queens. I think we even heard a puzzle master on the episode. Like it, and every time my mind goes to like, what the fuck are they basing this off of? And I think what kind of just threw that whole threw it all for a loop a long time ago in terms of like calling people puzzle masters was when the prime example of Sarah going into that elimination and losing a puzzle elimination to Jasmine and Janae, rookie Jasmine and Janae. From there, it was just kind of like, okay, we see that these people are so dumb that anytime they evaluate somebody else as having a higher IQ than them, they think they're Albert Einstein. And that came out tonight. Devin's a puzzle king, Amber, Ashley, CT, whoever, anybody who ever solved one math problem. That's going to be my LVP tonight. Is going to be I'll think of how to phrase it, but it's just overrating challengers' puzzle skills.
Good pick. Great pick, actually. Andy, who you got for us?
Thank you.
For me, LVP was kind of tough. I'm gonna go with the challenger, and it's probably not gonna be one that you guys are thinking of. But my LVP, and I really hate to say it, but my LVP for tonight is gonna be Nelly T. I know. I mean,
I think we lost connection or something. I don't know. LVP might be Andy's Magic Jack. I don't know. There he is. He's back. Sorry. Who's your LVP again?
Nelly T.
I think you're lagging again. I think I'm hearing like Nelly T as an LVP.
Exactly
that can't be
what
right.
you're hearing.
Okay.
I mean, Scuba Nelly was awesome. Everything Nelly does is so Smirk City, but you can't overlook the fact that Berna is now gone, and he does not have a girl in the challenge anymore, and he's also paired with Big T. He's fucked. That's not good. Anyone with Big T is just thinking like, I need to get out of this situation. And that's exactly what Nelly's face showed once that all transpired. So, like, do I think Nelly, like, didn't have a great episode? No. But did Nelly get really fucked tonight? Yes. On multiple fronts. So, it wasn't anything that he did, but he is not in a good spot right now. So, I hate giving Nelly LVP because I do love him, but I have to. I'm rooting for him. But he's my LVP for tonight.
Good pick. Not really. My LVP tonight. I could go with Berna, but I think that's I don't know. I really don't want to give her the LVP. There was really nobody tonight that did anything bad except rookies in general from this entire season. But my LVP, and it's like not even that bad of an LVP. It's just puzzles for me. I just think this season we've had so many puzzles already. Wait, is that what you didn't say that, did you?
No. It's similar.
No, you said puzzle queen. You were saying literally everybody calling themselves puzzle queens, puzzle kings, puzzle whatever. I'm saying just the puzzles in general.
Wasn't that Alex's pick?
I mean, I'm going for just puzzles, not kings, not queens, just literally the game, whatever. I'm just kind of tired of them. I don't really want any more. I just need a break. Like, I mean, in 8 episodes, we probably had, if you don't count the little 60-minute bullshit, probably 30 or I don't know, I said 30. probably 6 episodes, 6 out of 8 episodes have involved a puzzle to some sort. Excuse me. So I just think we need a break from them and just mix it up just a little. That's just how I think. But like I said, I don't think it's a bad thing. It's just we need a breather and give us something new. Give us like a tricycle that you have to ride backwards or something. Give us something different. Because I feel like nowadays it's do a task, finish a puzzle.
Yeah, my pick is like everybody thinks that they're this puzzle master. Your pick is like they just use puzzles too fucking much.
Correct. You're the term, but mine is yes.
That's a good pick.
All right. Anything else? Yes, Mikey the Doctor, just give us trivia. We need trivia. If there's no trivia, I'm going to be so pissed because the last few years of trivia have been so bad. And I need, like, could you imagine if Corey was just up there and they're like, yo, Corey, 9 times 3? Like, what would happen? So.
You get dropped and flung into the water.
Exactly.
Whatever you do and you get it wrong.
Hopefully float with Bettina next to him. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. God. So thank you guys for listening to a brand new Stir the Pod podcast show. I've been your host, Trevor. You can follow us on Twitter at Stir the Pod. You can also follow us on Instagram at Stir_the_pod. Thank you guys. Love you guys. Shout out Duffy. Bye-bye.
Love you guys.